Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Alyssa. In case you are new here, welcome and thank you so much for clicking on my video today. So today I've got a super exciting get ready with me. I got just recently the DC's Very Merry Multiverse 80-page giant. This thing is massive. It has 10 tales of heroic holiday hijinks. And I wanted to read this not only just for my own reading pleasure, but I also wanted to do a video, get ready with me, reviewing some of the stories on here. So as I said, there are 10 stories in this, but I didn't want to talk about all 10. I decided to narrow it down to just 3 because not only would this video be super long if I did all of them, but I feel like a lot of people don't know of a lot of the characters in these stories. So I just picked the 3 stories that pretty much everyone knows all the characters from these ones. To give a little preface, DC Comics uses the multiverse a lot in their writing. The multiverse is essentially the same characters, usually but not always, and they've been slightly altered in each universe. It's a lot to wrap your head around, but hopefully with the explanation of these stories, the pieces will kind of come together and you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. With that being said, if you guys are excited and want to hear some really fun Christmas holiday themed stories with some of your favorite DC characters, then just keep on watching. First, we're going to start off with primer, and we'll just jump right into it. So the first story is starting with Harley Quinn, and the title of this story is called It's a Horrible Life. The setting is it's Christmas Eve, and Harley Quinn is just not feeling the holiday spirit this year, the Christmas spirit. She gets so upset and she cries out into the night sky, and then all of a sudden a ghost figure appears behind her. Well, I mean, it's shaped like as a person, but it's a ghost. The ghost's name is Lima. It's either Lima or Lama, but that just seems like a weird name, Lama. It's spelled L-A-Y-M-A. I'm just gonna go with Lama. And he's kind of actually in between the stages of death, to be more technical. He explains to Harley that he is trying to earn his wings. That way he won't be in this in between. I guess he said he was like a janitor or something, but he wants to, you know, be an angel. And so he was there to kind of help her find her drive and cheerfulness again. He's not like a typical ghost like in the movies, how they would show like the person's past, present, future, whatever. He is actually a ghost of the multiverse. Means he actually travels within the multiverse to different universes. He first takes her to Earth 42, and everything in this universe is shrunken and it's kind of dreary looking. Not only that, but Batman and Superman are the bad guys and Harley Quinn is the hero in this situation. Essentially, it did nothing for her spirit, I guess, her spirits. Those two moved on to Earth 50. This universe isn't too drastically different. He said that she was still a criminal, but the superheroes in this universe were more like tyrants. And it was at this point that Harley Quinn kind of decided to get curious about Lama and his background, and so he started kind of asking, or she started asking him kind of about his background and how he got to where he is. He said that he once used to be a triplet. His other 2 siblings had superpowers, and he was pretty down on himself that he basically ran away and died alone, miserable. Then Harley Quinn offers him some words of encouragement to try and get him to, reconnect with his siblings. Next, they happen to see Joker in this universe, and that really upsets Harley because at this point in time, her and Joker are not on good terms at all whatsoever. And so, of course, she's like, get me out of here. Next, the two of them move on to the Earth 45 universe. And that doesn't really end up cheering her up, because right off the bat, they end up in Jokerville, which is a theme park that's centered around, you guessed it, Joker. This is a theme park that was created by a good version, well, better version of Joker. In this universe, Carli doesn't even exist, so that just kind of upset her even more than she already was. A transport to Earth 55. Lema was trying to go like the total opposite of the spectrum here. It is way too dark. I need to lighten it with some white. So he kind of took a shot in the dark and took Carli to a universe where Carli is a really successful realtor, but she is basic, like basic as heck. This terrifies her more than any other universe that she was shown, so it kind of makes her appreciate the one that she lives in now. Well, I guess all's well that ends well, and Carli goes back to her house and starts stirring up her evil ways again. What happens to Lema, you may ask? Well, he ended up going to the Hall of Justice while walking up to it, and this was an attempt to reconnect with his siblings. Those are the Wonder Twins. While he's lost in a daze, he actually gets hit by a bus, which might be awful if it weren't for the result of him finally getting his wings. So, you know, story ends out good for him too, I guess. So the next story stars Batman. It is called Christmas by Gaslight. I know of a few stories that DC has done that are kind of steampunk-esque. They even made an animated movie called Gotham by Gaslight, which my husband and I actually posted a review about on our comic channel a few years ago. That's kind of what the art of the story is like and the time period is like, just to give you guys a little bit of background on it. It is Earth 19, and it is Christmas Eve in Gotham. It starts with a little boy on a bench wishing for there to be snow this year on Christmas. The boy is poor, as he mentioned that his mother told him that money is tight this year, and as he gets up from the bench, the bench ends up shape-shifting, and it shapeshifts into the villain Plastic Man, and he muttered something about snow sounding like a really good idea since he has a heist planned, and that may just be the perfect thing that he needed to make his getaway. The other thing that I should note about this story is the writing in this. It's kind of odd. So they never say the villain's name is Plastic Man, but I know who it is because I know who the villain is. But pretty much everyone in this story is referred to by their actual name, like their birth name, whatever you want to call it, given name, instead of their villain name and like real names, which is kind of odd, but it must just be like the steampunk era, that whole genre. I don't know. Next, at a warehouse, all of the goods are getting loaded up and packed into this plastic carriage, and once it's all loaded up, it takes off because Plastic Man actually has shape-shifted, and he is now the one, you know, he's the carriage basically riding off with all the stuff in it, but not before Batman can reach him. Batman steps in and there starts an intense fight, which just gets even more intense now that someone else was just added into the mix. Mr. Freeze steps in and he tries to make off with the goods, and all three of them are now in this fight together. Then Plastic Man makes one wrong move on Mr. Freeze, and all of a sudden there is a big explosion and the Freeze goes shooting up into the air, resulting in snow falling down all over Gotham, as well as all the stuff that they were trying to make off with. Turns out all the stuff that they were trying to steal, they were toys after all. And then it shows the little boy picking up his toy and watching the snow fall, and turns out he got his wish after all, a white Christmas, plus he got a toy. In the end, Batman couldn't find it in his heart to put Plastic Man, or get him in trouble, put him behind bars, because the end result ended up being what needed to end up happening, so it didn't even matter. So that was just a heartwarming story. The last story is about Batman Beyond and centers around him, and just put this glitter. The story is called Holidays Beyond. I feel like a lot of people know about or have seen the Batman Beyond animated series. There are kind of two Batmans in this story. We have the one who is going to play Batman in this story, and his name is Terry. And then we have the original Batman, who is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is actually retired at this point. He's old. He's kind of aged out of being Batman. Therefore, he has this predecessor who is Terry. It's Earth 12 on Christmas Eve, and Terry is doing a little investigating underwater to find an old bat sub at the bottom of the ocean that was abandoned a long time ago, many years before. He gets in it and he fires it up, and then all of a sudden a flash comes across, and just like that, he went back in time. He's at the Wayne Manor on Christmas, but things are a little bit off. Bruce's parents are there, and a young Bruce Wayne comes running across the room trying to get his presents from under the tree. Then all of a sudden a voice comes out behind Terry. He's told that he's being shown what life would be like without a Batman. I don't think I can talk while doing mascara, so I'll be right back. Essentially, Bruce's parents aren't dead, so he has no reason to become the vigilante Batman. Then Terry looks outside and he sees a bunch of chaos going on because there's no hero to get rid of all the criminals. Kind of brushed it off like, well, you know, this is how Gotham is. This is not really anything different from my normal life. Next, Terry is taken to the future by a different mysterious ghost, and this Gotham is a lot more peaceful, which leads him to believe that there is in fact a Batman now. So he gets his hopes up to waiting to watch his future self transform into Batman, but is actually stunned to see that it's not him, but it's his future daughter that ends up turning into Batman, being Batman. And this gets him all sorts of like, you know, WTF sort of moment. But then Terry is instantly brought back to his normal present self, and he actually is in the Batcave. It turns out Terry was exposed to this element, and while he was knocked out, the autopilot kicked in on his suit and brought him back to the Batcave. He gets questioned by Bruce only for a moment before showing him the retrieved submarine that he got from the depths of the ocean and brought back to him for a Christmas present. Is the end of the story, which is great because all I have left to do is lips, and I can't really talk while I'm doing that anyway. I am loving this lipstick from the Wonder Woman collab with Revlon that I reviewed earlier this year. So pretty. This is the one that transforms when you puck your lips together. All the glitter comes out. Love it. Okay, we can take this off. Reveal the disaster underneath. Look at that nasty hair. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified when I post my next video. And yeah, guys, I think that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!